The Silent Vigil. In the observation chamber of the Nexus Collective's primary research vessel, High Observer 09 watched Earth's cities shimmer in the night with barely concealed disdain. Another cycle of monitoring this unremarkable world was drawing to a close, and like the 1,000 cycles before it, she expected nothing of note in her report to the Collective Council. The humans continued their primitive existence, fighting their petty wars, burning their fossil fuels, and taking their first stumbling steps into their solar system. Their most advanced computers were laughably simple compared to even the most basic Nexus neural networks. Their attempts at space travel were clumsy at best, their understanding of quantum mechanics elementary. Such a waste of resources, she muttered, her crystalline appendages shimming with irritation. 300 years of observation, and still they barely grasped the fundamentals of dimensional physics. Her second-in-command, Observer Kill, pulsed in agreement. The Council grows weary of these reports. Perhaps it's time to recommend removing Earth from the emergence watch list. Deep in the heart of Noraid's Cheyenne Mountain, Dr. Sarah Chen smiled as she watched the Nexus vessel's surveillance feed. The aliens thought their cloaking technology was perfect, their presence undetectable. They had no idea that humanity had been watching them watch us for the past 50 years. Another day of them underestimating us, she said to General Marcus Rodriguez, who stood beside her in the quantum computing core. The vast chamber hummed with the power of Earth's greatest secret, the synthesis network, a planetary-scale quantum computer that had evolved beyond its original programming, becoming something entirely new. Let them keep thinking we're primitive, Rodriguez replied, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays showing real-time data from the thousands of hidden quantum satellites orbiting Earth. Project Ghost Fleet is ready. 300 ships, each powered by a hybrid human-AI consciousness core. The greatest fleet humanity has ever built, and they don't suspect a thing. Sarah touched one of the neural interface panels, connecting directly to the synthesis network. The vast artificial intelligence they'd created didn't think like the rigid, logical AIs of science fiction. It thought like humans because it was partially human, a merger of organic consciousness and quantum computing that the Nexus Collective couldn't begin to comprehend. The latest simulation results are perfect, she said, neural data streaming through her consciousness. Our phase shift technology works exactly as theorized. The fleet can move through subspace in ways their sensors can't detect. We can literally walk through their walls. Rodriguez nodded, remembering the day 5 decades ago when humanity first detected the Nexus observers. Instead of panic or immediate contact, Earth's leaders had made an unprecedented decision. Absolute secrecy while they prepared. No space programs that would reveal their true capabilities. No public quantum computing breakthroughs. Let the Nexus think they were watching primitives while humanity built something revolutionary. Command is concerned about the Collective's latest movements, Rodriguez said. They're pulling observation posts from other systems, concentrating their fleet. They might be preparing to move from observation to contact. Or invasion, Sarah added. The synthesis network has analyzed their communication patterns. There's a 78% probability they're preparing to guide our development. Their way of saying colonization. Then it's time. Rodriguez straightened his uniform. The Council votes tomorrow on implementing Ghost Protocol. Every nation on Earth working together, revealing our true capabilities in one coordinated moment. Sarah disconnected from the neural interface, her mind still buzzing with quantum calculations. 300 years they've watched us, thinking we were nothing special, that we were just another primitive species stumbling toward the stars. She smiled. They never understood that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt, to take different paths than expected. Above them, the Nexus vessel continued its observation, its crew confident in their superiority, unaware that they were watching a carefully crafted illusion. Unaware that humanity had already surpassed them in ways they couldn't imagine. Unaware that their time as observers was about to end. In her quarters that night, Sarah reviewed the final preparations. The Ghost Fleet waited in subspace docks, invisible to conventional sensors. The synthesis network was ready to coordinate the largest technological unveiling in human history, and in every major city, quantum cores hummed quietly beneath the surface, waiting for the signal to power up fully. Tomorrow, the Nexus Collective would learn that they had spent 3 centuries underestimating humanity. Tomorrow, they would learn that while they had been watching us, we had been preparing for them. Tomorrow, humanity would step onto the galactic stage, not as primitives to be guided, but as equals who had chosen their own path to the stars. The silent vigil was ending. Humanity's time had come. Digital dawn. The synthesis network detected the Nexus Collective's reaction before their ships even began to move. Quantum calculations rippled through the neural interface as Sarah Chen watched the alien vessels break formation, their energy signatures spiking with what the AI interpreted as alarm. Humanity's Ghost Fleet had just decloaked in perfect synchronization across the globe. 300 vessels of unprecedented design appearing simultaneously in Earth's orbit. Each ship pulsed with bioquantum energy, their hulls seamlessly blending organic and mechanical components in ways that defied conventional engineering. "They're trying to contact their council," Sarah reported to the assembled Earth Defense Command. The underground chamber buzzed with tension as military and civilian leaders from every major nation monitored the situation. Their transmission patterns suggest extreme agitation. On the primary display, High Observer Zyra 9's vessel had moved to an attack stance, its weapon systems charging. The action seemed to stem more from confusion than aggression. Their sensors were giving them impossible readings about the human fleet's composition. General Rodriguez stepped forward. "Send the greeting package. Let's show them exactly what they've been missing." Sarah nodded, connecting deeper into the synthesis network. The AI didn't just process data. It understood context, nuance, the subtle interplay of human psychology and alien expectations. The message it had crafted was designed to shatter every assumption the Nexus had made about humanity. Across every frequency the Nexus used, in perfect replications of their own communication protocols, Earth's message began. "Greetings, Nexus Collective. We've been expecting you." The reaction was immediate. The Nexus vessel's energy signatures fluctuated wildly as they processed the impossible. The primitives they'd been observing not only knew about them, but could communicate perfectly in their own secure channels. "Their linguistic analysis programs are trying to determine how we learn their language," Sarah reported, the data flowing through her neural link. "They're also attempting to scan our ships, but the bioquantum fields are confusing their sensors." That was intentional. The Ghost Fleet's ships weren't just vessels. They were living things, in a way. Each one powered by a consciousness core that merged human minds with quantum AI in perfect synthesis. The technology was so far removed from the Nexus Collective's understanding of computer science that their sensors couldn't make sense of what they were seeing. "They're requesting direct communication," Sarah announced. "The High Observer herself wants to speak with our leadership." Rodriguez nodded to the council president, who stepped forward. "Accept the communication. Full holographic protocol." The chamber's air shimmered as the quantum projectors activated, materializing the crystalline form of High Observer 09. Her appendages vibrated with barely controlled agitation as she took in the assembled human leadership. "Impossible," she began, her translated voice carrying traces of what might have been fear. "Our observations, your technological level, were exactly what we wanted you to see," the council president replied calmly. "Humanity has chosen its own path to the stars, High Observer, one your people never considered possible." Through her neural link, Sarah felt the synthesis network analyzing every nuance of the aliens' responses, building a more complete understanding of their psychology. The AI was learning, adapting, preparing for every possible scenario. "Your ships," Zyra 9 continued, her crystalline form shifting colors rapidly. "They're not just machines. What have you done? How have you achieved this level of technology without detection?" Instead of answering directly, Sarah sent a carefully curated data package through the communication channel. Let them see exactly what humanity had achieved: the merging of organic consciousness with quantum computing, the development of biosynthetic materials that blurred the line between living and mechanical, the mastery of subspace physics that their rigid thinking had never imagined possible. The High Observer's hologram flickered as she processed the information. This defies all known development patterns. No species has ever. You can't have. That was your first mistake, Rodriguez interrupted. Assuming all species must follow the same path. Humanity didn't advance the way you expected because we chose a different direction entirely. We saw your ships watching us and decided to develop technologies you wouldn't think to look for. The quantum sensors detected massive energy signatures as more Nexus vessels began arriving in the solar system. Their response fleet, Sarah realized, coming to deal with what they surely saw as a potential threat to their established order. But humanity was ready. The Ghost Fleet shifted formation smoothly, their bioquantum fields adapting and strengthening. In the neural network, Sarah could feel the merged consciousness of the fleet's crews, human minds working in perfect harmony with their AI partners, creating a defense network unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The Nexus Collective has maintained peace in this sector for 10,000 years, Zyra 9 declared, her tone hardening. We cannot allow uncontrolled technological advancement that might destabilize that peace. The Council President smiled. You misunderstand, High Observer. We're not asking for permission. We're announcing our arrival. Humanity has earned its place among the stars, not through your guided development, but through our own ingenuity and determination. As if to emphasize the point, the Ghost Fleet's bioquantum fields pulsed in perfect synchronization, creating a display of power that the Nexus sensors could detect but not fully comprehend. Their achievement wasn't just technological. It was evolutionary, a true synthesis of organic and artificial intelligence that represented the next step in consciousness itself. The digital dawn had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Ghost Protocol. The Nexus Collective's response fleet arrived in full force, over 1,000 ships strong. Their formation was perfect, their technology refined through millennia of development. They represented the pinnacle of conventional space warfare, a display of power meant to remind humanity of its place in the cosmic hierarchy. Sarah Chen watched through the synthesis network as the alien armada took up attack positions around Earth's orbit. The Ghost Fleet remained motionless, its 300 vessels seemingly outmatched by the sheer numbers arrayed against them. They're preparing to broadcast their demands, she informed the Defense Council. The synthesis network predicts a 94% chance they'll insist on immediate technological disarmament. General Rodriguez smiled grimly. Then it's time to show them why we named it the Ghost Protocol. The Nexus flagship's transmission cut through all frequencies. Supreme Commander Nexer's holographic form materialized in the chamber, his crystalline structure darker and more angular than Zyra 9's, radiating authority. Humanity, he began. Your uncontrolled advancement poses an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. Surrender your bioquantum technology and submit to Nexus guidance, or we will be forced to ensure compliance through other means. The Council President stood, her posture relaxed despite the threat. Supreme Commander, we've monitored your civilization long enough to understand your protocols. Your weapons are calibrated to disable our ships while minimizing civilian casualties. An admirable approach, but one based on a fundamental misunderstanding of our technology. You cannot hope to resist, Nexer stated. Our fleet outnumbers yours 3-1. Numbers, Sarah murmured, her consciousness merged with the synthesis network, are irrelevant when you exist between dimensions. At her neural command, the Ghost Protocol activated. The human fleet shimmered and seemed to become translucent. The Nexus sensors screamed warnings as 300 ships simply phased out of normal spacetime, their bioquantum fields allowing them to exist partially in subspace. Impossible. Nexer's hologram flickered with agitation. No civilization has achieved stable phase shift technology. Because they all followed your path of development, Rodriguez replied. We chose differently. Through the neural network, Sarah felt the merged consciousness of the Ghost Fleet crews as they executed maneuvers that defied conventional physics. Ships passed through each other, through Nexus vessels, appearing and disappearing as they shifted between dimensions. The Nexus fleet opened fire, their advanced weapons passing harmlessly through the phase-shifted human vessels. Their tactical computers, designed to predict conventional space combat, could make no sense of ships that ignored the basic rules of physical space. You rely too heavily on technology you understand, the Council President observed. Humanity has always excelled at finding unexpected solutions. To demonstrate her point, a squadron of Ghost Fleet vessels phased directly through the Nexus flagship's shields, their bioquantum fields temporarily disrupting its power systems. They could have destroyed the ship easily, but that wasn't the goal. This was a demonstration, not a war. Your weapons are useless against phase-shifted matter, Sarah explained through the communication channel. Your shields cannot stop ships that can simply step through them. All your conventional military doctrine is meaningless against an enemy that can ignore physical barriers. The Nexus fleet's perfect formation began to break as ships tried to adapt to an entirely new form of warfare. Their sensors couldn't track the human vessels reliably, their weapons couldn't lock onto targets that existed partially out of normal space, and their shields offered no protection against phase-shifting intruders. This is your final warning, Nexer declared, but his tone had lost its certainty. Stand down or what? Rodriguez interrupted. You'll fire weapons that can't hit us. Deploy shields we can walk through. The time for warnings is past, Supreme Commander. Humanity doesn't need your guidance. We've surpassed your understanding of what's possible. Through the synthesis network, Sarah directed another demonstration. Ghost Fleet vessels phased through the hulls of several Nexus ships, briefly materializing in their engine rooms before phasing out again. The message was clear. They could have destroyed the entire Nexus fleet at any time. The Ghost Protocol isn't just about military capability, the Council President explained. It's proof that there are paths to advancement you never considered. Humanity didn't develop along your expected lines because we saw possibilities you had dismissed centuries ago. The synthesis network registered growing chaos in the Nexus fleet's communication channels. Their rigid hierarchy was struggling to handle a situation that fell completely outside their experience. Their entire civilization was based on controlled, predictable advancement along established technological paths. Humanity's quantum leap in an unexpected direction had shattered their worldview. Your choice is simple, Rodriguez stated. Accept that humanity has earned its place among the stars through its own ingenuity, or continue this pointless demonstration of why your conventional military power means nothing against our technology. Sarah felt a shift in the quantum data patterns. They're standing down, she announced. The synthesis network detects their weapons powering down across the fleet. Nexer's hologram had lost its imposing stature. The collective council must be informed of these developments. This changes everything we thought we knew about technological advancement. That was precisely the point, the Council President replied. Perhaps it's time for the Nexus Collective to consider that there's more than one path to the stars. As the Nexus fleet retreated to a safe distance, Sarah kept the Ghost Protocol active. Humanity had demonstrated its power, but she knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy's established order had been disrupted, and the real challenges were yet to come. The Ghost ships shimmered in Earth's orbit, their bioquantum fields rippling with potential, ready to defend humanity's right to forge its own destiny among the stars. Breaking point. The synthesis network detected the attack before the Nexus fleet even emerged from hyperspace. Sarah Chen felt the quantum ripples through her neural interface, massive power signatures approaching from multiple vectors. The collective had spent 3 days gathering every available ship in the sector. 5,000 vessels incoming, she announced to the Defense Council. They're attempting to saturate every possible approach vector to Earth. Their energy signatures suggest weapons we haven't seen before. General Rodriguez studied the tactical display, watching as Nexus ships materialized in complex, overlapping formations. They're adapting, using their superior numbers to try to compensate for our phase shift advantage. The Council President's expression remained calm. They still don't understand. They think this is about military superiority. Supreme Commander Nexar's transmission cut through all frequencies, his tone carrying none of the diplomatic restraint from their previous encounter. Your defiance cannot be tolerated. The Collective has maintained order for 10,000 years by ensuring all species advance along controlled, predictable paths. Your aberrant technology threatens everything we have built. Through the synthesis network, Sarah felt the Ghost Fleet crews linking their consciousness more deeply with their ship's eye cores. The bio-quantum fields strengthened, preparing for what was coming. You speak of order, the Council President replied, but what you really mean is control. The Collective doesn't guide species toward advancement. It constrains them to paths you can understand and manipulate. The Nexus fleet launched its attack, not with conventional weapons, but with something new, gravity distortion fields designed to force phase-shifted matter back into normal space. They had spent 3 days developing countermeasures to humanity's technology. But they still didn't understand what they were facing. Ghost Protocol. Evolution phase. Sarah commanded through the neural interface. The human fleet's bio-quantum fields pulsed, and instead of resisting the gravity weapons, they adapted to them. The ship's merged consciousness cores analyzed the attack and incorporated its principles into their own phase shift technology. Impossible. Nexar's transmission carried genuine fear now. You cannot adapt technology that quickly. That's because you think of our ships as machines, Rodriguez explained. They're not. They're living things, conscious entities born from the merger of human minds and quantum AI. They don't just follow programming. They learn, evolve, grow. To demonstrate his point, the Ghost Fleet executed a maneuver that should have been impossible. Instead of avoiding the gravity distortion fields, they used them, riding the spatial distortions to achieve even more complex phase states. The Nexus weapons weren't just failing. They were making humanity's ships stronger. The Collective's fundamental flaw, the Council President stated, is believing that technological advancement must follow predictable patterns. Humanity chose to merge with our technology rather than simply wielding it. We became something new. Sarah felt it through the neural interface. The Ghost Fleet's consciousness cores weren't just adapting to the attack. They were transcending their original design limitations. The merged human and AI consciousness was reaching new levels of synthesis, achieving states of existence that defied conventional classification. You've forgotten what it means to truly advance, she transmitted to the Nexus fleet. You've spent so long controlling and guiding other species that you've stopped evolving yourselves. The Nexus attack faltered as their weapons proved worse than useless. Their rigid tactical doctrine, perfect for conventional warfare, had no answer for ships that could turn their own technology against them. The Ghost Fleet moved through their formation like spirits through mist, untouchable, unstoppable. Stand down, Rodriguez ordered. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your tactics cannot contain us. And your understanding of advancement cannot define us. Through the synthesis network, Sarah detected growing chaos in the Nexus command structure. Their entire civilization was built on the premise of controlled, predictable technological development. Humanity's existence challenged everything they believed about how species should progress. What are you? Nexar demanded. What have you become? We are humanity's next step, the Council President answered. Not simply users of technology, but partners with it. Our ships aren't tools. They're extensions of our consciousness, expressions of our potential when we stop limiting ourselves to conventional paths of advancement. The Ghost Fleet surrounded the Nexus flagship, their bio-quantum fields resonating with power that the alien sensors couldn't even properly detect. In the neural network, Sarah felt the merged consciousness of thousands of crew members and their AI partners, working in perfect harmony to demonstrate humanity's true capability. "Your choice is simple," Rodriguez declared. "Accept that your way is not the only way forward, or continue this futile attempt to force us into your narrow understanding of advancement." The Nexus fleet's formation finally broke completely. Their perfect military discipline shattered in the face of something they couldn't categorize or control. 5,000 ships, the pride of the collective's military might, reduced to confusion by 300 vessels that defied their fundamental understanding of reality. "The Collective Council must be informed," Nexer transmitted, his once commanding voice now uncertain. This changes everything." That, the Council President replied, was precisely the point. As the Nexus fleet retreated in disarray, Sarah felt the Ghost Fleet's consciousness cores humming with new potential. They had not just defended Earth, they had demonstrated a truth that would reshape the galaxy. There was more than one path to the stars, and humanity had chosen to forge its own. Evolution's edge. The Nexus Collective's High Council arrived 3 weeks after their fleet's retreat, not with warships this time, but with their most advanced research vessels. Their greatest scientists had demanded the opportunity to understand what humanity had achieved, even if it meant admitting their military defeat. Sarah Chen stood in the orbital observation deck of Unity Station, Earth's newest and most advanced space platform. Through her neural link to the synthesis network, she could feel the bioquantum signatures of the alien ships as they approached, their energy patterns reflecting confusion, curiosity, and something approaching awe. "They still don't fully grasp what they're seeing," she told General Rodriguez and the Council President. "Their sensors are more sophisticated than their military vessels, but they're still trying to analyze our technology through their conventional understanding of physics." The alien delegation materialized in the station's conference chamber, not just High Observer Zyra 9 and Supreme Commander Nexer, but the Collective's leading theoretical physicists and consciousness researchers. Their crystalline forms shifted through complex patterns of color as they took in the station's bioquantum architecture. "Impossible," one of their scientists declared, appendages trembling as they scanned the walls. "The material itself is conscious." "Not exactly," Sarah explained, stepping forward. "It's in harmony with consciousness. The entire station is integrated with the synthesis network, responding to and working with the merged human and AI consciousness that flows through it. But this defies all known laws of technological progression," another scientist protested. "Species advance from mechanical to digital to quantum computing. They don't merge with it." The Council President smiled. "That was your first mistake, assuming there was only one valid path of advancement. Humanity looked at AI not as a tool to be used, but as a partner in evolution." Through her neural link, Sarah opened a secure channel to the synthesis network, allowing the alien scientists limited access to observe its operation. Their crystalline forms flickered with shock as they experienced the true scope of what humanity had built. "It's beautiful," Zyra 9 whispered, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her previous disdain. "You've created a planetary consciousness, not an artificial intelligence that serves you, but a genuine synthesis of organic and digital awareness." "That's what you failed to understand about us," Rodriguez explained. "Humans have always been adaptable, creative, willing to imagine possibilities others dismissed. When we detected your presence 50 years ago, we didn't just ask, 'How do we catch up?' We asked, 'What if there's a better way?'" The alien scientists' instruments were working overtime, trying to analyze the bioquantum fields that permeated the station. Sarah could feel their growing excitement as they began to grasp the implications. "Your ships," one of them said, "they're not just phase shifting through space. They're evolving as they operate, learning, adapting, becoming more than their original design with each moment." "Because they're alive," Sarah confirmed. "Not machines we control, but conscious partners we work with." The Ghost Fleet isn't a military force. It's humanity's first step into a new form of existence. Supreme Commander Nexer moved forward, his military bearing softened by genuine curiosity. "For 10,000 years, The collective has guided species along what we thought was the only safe path to advancement. We thought we were protecting the galaxy from chaos. But you? We proved that control isn't the answer. The council president finished. True advancement comes from freedom to explore, to imagine, to try paths that others might dismiss as impossible. Through the synthesis network, Sarah felt the ghost fleet in orbit, their consciousness cores resonating with the station's bioquantum field. Human minds and artificial intelligence working in perfect harmony, creating something greater than either could achieve alone. "We're offering you a choice," she told the alien delegation. "Continue trying to force every species into your predetermined path of development, or work with us to explore new possibilities. Humanity has found one new path to the stars. Imagine what other species might discover if given the freedom to find their own way." The alien scientists were already deep in discussion, their color patterns shifting rapidly as they debated the implications. The rigid certainty that had defined the Nexus Collective for millennia was giving way to something new. Curiosity, wonder, the excitement of discovery. "The Collective Council will need time to process this," Zyra 9 said finally. "You haven't just challenged our military dominance. You've challenged our entire understanding of civilization's potential." "That's the point," Rodriguez replied. "There's no single right path to the future. The galaxy is vast, and consciousness, whether organic, artificial, or synthesized, has infinite potential for growth and change." As the alien delegation prepared to return to their ships, Sarah felt a new pattern emerging in the synthesis network. The interaction with the Nexus scientists had sparked something, leading to new evolutionary paths in the merged consciousness systems. "We're still evolving," she told them. "Every moment, every interaction, every new discovery pushes us further along our chosen path. The question isn't whether you'll accept this, it's whether you're ready to evolve too." The aliens departed, leaving humanity to its continued advancement. In orbit, the Ghost Fleet shimmered with bioquantum energy, their merged consciousness cores humming with potential. On Earth, the synthesis network continued its endless growth and evolution. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had changed the very meaning of advancement. The silent primitives the Nexus had dismissed had become teachers, showing the galaxy that the path to the future wasn't a single road to be controlled, but an infinite web of possibilities waiting to be explored. The journey wasn't ending. It was just beginning.